Okay, so Summer House, for those that do not know, is this show similar to, I guess you could say, like the Jersey Shore, where they get a bunch of people to live in the house during the summer, and it's following them. They're drinking, they're partying, they're going about their life, and like it just follows them. And there are the four players, really three, but I'll say four. Four players are Amanda. Amanda was one of the women that is involved in this, and she was married to Kyle. But Amanda is also best friends with Cierra. They've been best friends for years. They're super close. They're girls. They're like BFFs. And then Cierra dated West. West is also friends with Kyle. But Wes and Cierra, they dated. And let me stop doing the hand thing. Wes and Cierra dated. And it was like a really big deal to Cierra. Apparently there was an episode where she kind of expressed like she doesn't sleep with people often, and she slept with Wes, and it was like this really big thing. And the fact that they're not together, like that's not how she planned things. One girlies, like we've been there, maybe not necessarily slept with someone, but like you've made out, you like poured your heart out to someone, and then all of a sudden like it's just not working out. These things happen. So that is the setup. Now, West and Cierra break up. Amanda and Kyle break up. Just recently, they have been spotted together because Cierra and Amanda, I'm sorry, when I say they, Amanda and West. Remember, West is Cierra's ex-boyfriend. I'm sorry. I said I'm supposed to stop doing the finger thing. Remember, West is Cierra's ex-boyfriend. And Amanda is Cierra's best friend. So Amanda and Wes have been seen together. People are like, oh no, that can't possibly be. It's so the podcast, most of the girls are like, oh, this is like fake rumors. I can't believe people are saying these things. It was just so shocking to them that this would happen. Because once again, Cierra and Amanda are best friends. I cannot stress that enough. So Amanda and Wes are seen together. And denied, or like not like silence. And then I guess you could say all hell broke loose. People started unfollowing each other. And then, there were statements put out. I'm going to read the statement. So Amanda and West both posted this statement on their Instagram. We've seen the growing online speculation. So while this is still very new, we wanted to provide some clarity. It was never our intention to purposely hide anything. Given the complicated relationship dynamics involved, and the scrutiny that comes with being on a reality show, we need a little space to process things privately before speaking on it. We've shown up for each other as friends over the years, through all the highs and lows, and what's developed recently was the last thing either of us expected. Our connection grew out of genuine, long-standing friendship, which made it especially important for us to approach this with care. As our feelings evolved, we wanted to take time to understand exactly what we were feeling. We also recognized that this has had an impact beyond just us, and never wanted our actions to cause any hurt or be perceived as careless. We truly appreciate the understanding and respect as we navigate this. Well, and now let's discuss. So it's also important to know all four parties involved, Amanda, Kyle, Cierra, Wes, are, before this moment, were all single. At the time of whenever things went down, it appears everybody was single. It's important to note that as well. That's just like another factor in there. So I want to talk about this really from like the girl's perspective. Your best friend's ex-boyfriend, who you could tell she really loved, she was really into, meant a lot to her, is single. And you guys were all friends, and now you guys are together. I don't see a world where that happens. I don't see a world where that's possible. I don't see why someone would do that. It is very strange to me, girls that have this mentality of like, I can have any boy is mine, without kind of, I think it's also something very immature and not thinking things through, not thinking about something outside of themselves. And it's nobody, I don't think any of my friends in real life listen to this, but if you do, like, it's just like crazy timing. If you can, you catch my drift, wink, wink. Crazy timing, because another thing that I've been thinking about when it comes to girls who do things like this is the aspect of like really desiring a man's attention. And online, on TikTok in particular, we hear all the time people come on and say things about male-centered women. And, sometimes it'll be something as simple as like, a male-centered woman, she lets a man open the door for her, and like, she doesn't want to pay the bill. It's something super simple that's like, not the big of a deal. But a real male-centered woman will do things and try to make sure that everything around her life revolves around a man, and at the detriment to other women. To me, that is what a male-centered woman is. And there are women out there like that. And something I'm noticing over the years of maturity, growth, and having, seen in my own personal life some things, a lot of those women also are the same women who have a hard time making friends. Because once you do things like this, once you have made it clear that men are the priority, other women don't really want to be around you. And I think that sometimes when we hear people say the term male-centered women, some of us kind of get like a little like, because like, you don't hate men. I don't hate men. I love men. If I ever say anything negative about a man, I'm not talking about the ones I know. I'm talking about people online 9 times out of 10. But anyway, and when I'm talking about anyway, so there's that aspect of it. But I think that is something real, and I think that's something just like also to consider when you're meeting new people, when you're making friends. It's just like clocking that type of behavior, because if you don't clock that type of behavior, a lot of times it will come out, like it'll manifest, like this type of male-centeredness, this type of idea that like, it's whatever, like who cares that there's these lines, and like who cares, like this is your friend. What's also interesting is like this woman is beautiful. She could probably be with pretty much any other guy she wanted to. So why be with the friend? Like why be with your friend's ex that was a recent ex that I haven't seen the show, but it does appear as if she's not over him. As a matter of fact, she unfollowed them, and like it's this whole thing. So like clearly she wasn't over them. And if you guys are best friends, you already know this. So it's just like a really interesting dynamic, for lack of a better word. And I think that women like this are just it's not good. Like, you don't do that to your friends. I don't know, like it's just something very clear. There are rules and there are lines that you just don't cross with your friends. And you don't have to necessarily call yourself a girl's girl to not be like that. I think you just have to call yourself like a decent friend. Because at the end of the day, friendships are so important. Finding your person is absolutely the most important. The most important relationship you will have, other than with God, is with your spouse. So that is important. And I know a lot of people, when you think of that, they think, well, that means anything goes, anything's important. I can do any and everything. And I got to make sure that I find this person. And I think that is so short-sighted, because your friendships are also what helps sustain you. Those are what's going to help push you through. That your community is what is going to help you when you're sick. Your spouse can too, but sometimes you need more than just the spouse when it comes to certain things. Your community is going to help you when you're sick. Your community is going to help you if that boy that you have chosen, hopefully you're not married yet, but like you said, you chose this boy and then he breaks up with you. Who's going to be there for you? It's going to be your friends. So I think like your friendships are so important. And like, I value my friendship so much. Like friendship is like super important to me. And especially like those of us who are single, that is like for lack of a better word, our lifeline. That's what we have. That is what we hold on to. That is our connection to the world. And I think that if you are, when you are around girls like this, it's not good. And I think that if you have decided that, I must find my person at all costs, no matter what, I would just really encourage you to just like take a step back, because the reality is like she could have been with someone else. Like it's not, I don't know this guy. Now, I don't know if the exact wording was let me see. The exact wording was, sorry, take me a second to pull it up, was this is still very new. It was never our intention to purposely hide anything given the complicated relationship. Let's see. Our feelings evolved. We take time to understand. Like this doesn't sound like this is like we're in love. We can't help it. My heart just beats for his existence. I can't eat, sleep, breathe out. That's not what it sounds like. It still would be wrong if that was it. But I think I would have a little bit more clarification on like why they felt as if that was what they had to do, if that was, their thoughts, but it really wasn't. So, I mean, it's a mess. I just wouldn't, I mean, I wouldn't want to do that, to my friend at the end of the day. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't want to do that to my friend. And I think that it is wrong. I think that it is wrong. 9/11 is bad. No, but I wouldn't want to do that to my friend. And I think that if this is the type of character that someone has, I think it is important to clock it, and I think it's important to move accordingly. Another thing, is just something else I'm thinking, thinking out loud. And like I said, if you know me in real life, wink, wink, is so then what happens next to this person? Does the entire friend group shun them because they clearly don't have the same morals and values? What happens next? I think that is just up to every individual. Like, if this is someone, like, for me at my age, I just don't have the time or the energy at this time. Maybe years from now I might, be able to, but like right now I just don't have the time and energy to be friends with someone who I'm going to always, have my head on a swivel because I don't know if they can be trusted, if that's a lot of drama. I just don't have the time for that. So I personally could not be friends with girls who are like this right now. I think that, this also is time for girls, if you think that's something you would do, if you are like this, to take a minute and like reflect and how the kids say, be better. I think that this is not good. It's not good. It's not good. And I think that you work on you and like figure out, like, why do I need this man's attention so badly? Why do I need any man's attention so badly? But this particular man, like, why do I need that? I think that's something to consider. Okay, and that's that on that. Let me know what you think. Is it okay? Technically, all four of them were single. There was no overlapping as far as we know. Even the two that were married at one point, there's no overlapping. Technically, all four of them were single. Do you think that kind of makes it okay? Do you think that, what do you think about girls, becoming boyfriend, girlfriend with their friends' exes? Do you think that's appropriate? Do you think that also he broke boy code because they were friends? Apparently they weren't as close as Cierra and Amanda, but Wes and Kyle were close. They were friends. They weren't as close. So like, is that still wrong too? If it's just like your friend, it's your boy, but not like your best friend. Like, is that still wrong too? Like, what do you guys think? Let's have this discussion. I also think it's a really good discussion to have like with your friend group and just kind of see like, where does everybody stand on this? What do you think about this? So yeah. Thank you for watching this clip of Those Are the Girls with Mallory and Friends. You can watch the full episode here on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts.